You want to know that you're getting the right training and not just paying for a ticket. You want to be sure that the place you're going to is going to make you competent when you get on the job, so that you're going to perform better and you're going to be a key part of that team.
On the show line, standing by.
Thank you for deciding to undertake an ADAS accredited course. Graduates of ADAS courses are recognized throughout the world due to the mutual recognition arrangements with other certifying agencies.
An ADAS graduate is respected for their competence and safe practice. You can expect your training to be delivered safely and to a high standard.
Unless you're completing a course in a language other than English, you will be expected to communicate and undertake assessments and exams in English. If you have concerns about your English level, especially with calculations, please tell your trainers up front, who can provide learning support. And remember, you should expect to train in an environment free of any discrimination. You have the right to access your school's policies. The school will ask you to acknowledge that you have been provided access to and seen those policies. If you're unsure about any of the policies, speak to your instructor. You can also check the ADAS policies on the ADAS website. If this is a diver training course, it will be fundamental to have a sound understanding of the school's diving operations manual. It is important for you to know what you can and can't do, and what others around you should be doing during dive operations.
You'll be assessed using an ADAS assessment package, which will be provided by the school. It includes the units of competency for this course and shows you how you'll be assessed. You should familiarise yourself with the package before the assessments begin, so you know what the assessor's looking for. Along the way, your trainer should let you know how you're going with your units. It's important for you to know and understand the assessment process. Your assessment material will be kept in the ADAS training record book. This will help you keep track of your assessment and feedback from your trainers. ADAS assures the national quality standards for training are achieved in a variety of ways: by getting your feedback, checking your assessment records, undertaking on-site and desktop audits of the school, monitoring trainer competence, ensuring trainers are up to date in their training through professional development, training materials and video, and working with training schools. It's important that trainers are thoroughly assessing every student's competence. Your life may depend on your teammate, both during the course and in the future on a job site.
The next part of the video will go through some of the things you should expect to see at the dive site during your course. Your dives should progress from shallower and simpler dives to deeper and more complex dives. Early in your training, you should participate in an emergency drill. Every day, you should receive a thorough briefing about the dive or activity you're about to undertake. Make sure you understand the briefing, and if you don't, ask the person giving the briefing to repeat it or explain it in a different way. Risks and special actions required to minimize those risks are discussed during the pre-dive briefing. Again, it is important that you fully understand and agree with the risks. If you don't agree, don't sign and discuss your concerns with your trainer or the dive supervisor on site. The equipment you're provided with should be well maintained, serviced, and safe. There needs to be a supervisor on the dive site at all times. A staff standby diver is fully dressed and ready to dive every time there is a diver in the water. Personal protective equipment that would be appropriate to wear on site is worn, such as capped boots, hard hats, glasses and shields, sun hats, wet weather gear, personal flotation devices, wetsuits, boots, gloves, and much more. Are there issues during your training? If so, you should first try to address the matter with the trainer or the school. Most issues can usually be resolved this way if they're acted on early. If you don't feel you can go to your instructor, try someone else at the school. And if that does not work, you can contact ADAS and we'll do what we can to help.
Don't immediately worry if you're assessed as not yet competent during your training. It's expected that some students will need more than one opportunity to demonstrate competence during the course. That said, start working hard right from today. There's not a lot of time to learn all that you'll need to know. If you are having difficulties with any aspect of the training, make sure you discuss the issue with your trainers, as they may be able to give you extra learning support. Accidents and incidents sometimes happen. If any event occurs during your training that had the potential to injure someone, it must be reported. Give the school as much information as you can so that we can work together to prevent the accident or incident occurring again. Please answer the student survey questions at the end of the course as honestly as possible. It helps ADAS ensure that your training remains at the highest standard. ADAS might also get in touch with you after your course, just to ask you a few more questions once you've had the opportunity to try out your skills in the workplace.
Just as in other high-risk industries, ADAS license holders need to demonstrate continued proficiency to maintain competency. ADAS diver cards must be renewed on a 5-yearly basis. To be able to renew your ADAS license, you will need to maintain and present a formal logbook. This is a requirement of the Australian Standards for Occupational Diving and offshore legislation. When it is time for you to renew your certification, go to the ADAS website to find out how to submit a renewal application and what evidence you need to supply.
While all diver and diving supervisor certifications are valid for 5 years, diver medical technicians will need to refresh their training every 2 years. This can be done by completing a refresher course with an ADAS training establishment. You have probably realised by now a significant focus of ADAS is to ensure that you and others working with you are proficient and remain safe during your training and in your career. Creating a solid foundation now with your fellow students and trainers will go a long way towards creating that outcome.
For more information about career pathways, certification and industry news, visit the ADAS website. ADAS wishes you well on your course and success with your chosen career path.